Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing an unscripted video. No scripts here, nothing like that. And it's going to be focusing on, well, basically, you read the title, the absolute state of Lovecraft related organizations. A lot of them have lately, I've noticed, been bending their knees towards the left. And that's the far left, if you ask me. Far left political groups, narratives which are completely false in my opinion. Things which are not honoring Lovecraft, and in many cases they are actually throwing Lovecraft under the bus, and all this is done while they exist because of Lovecraft, these organizations. If Lovecraft wasn't around, these organizations would not be around. How do you have the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival if there's no H.P. Lovecraft? Yet they're happy to piss on him as much as they want to get virtue signaling points with the far left. We are in a culture war, this is undeniable. It's just how things are going now in the West, and if you still think there isn't one, I'm sorry, but pull your head out the sand, please. It's just something that is happening now, and that, there are sides in this issue. You can be a centrist, like Tim Pool, I guess, but if you're familiar with the YouTuber Young Ripper, my God, I love that guy. He makes awesome music too, and I'm going to kind of channel his kind of energy, because we are very like-minded, him and I. And his thing is comic books, and my thing, well, it's Lovecraft. I thought about doing one long video. We'll see how it goes. But today we're going to be definitely looking at the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival. If you like this video, I can always make a second one looking at the other organizations. I was thinking to target the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival because they're the most egregious example of what I'm talking about in this video. So if you like this video, please give it a like, a thumbs up. Leave a comment, that always helps. I'm not just saying this to boost it in the algorithm, but in this case it will help me to see if there is a demand for me to make a part 2 looking at the Historical Society, the Necronomicon event. Believe me, there's some things to say there. Anyway, before we get on with this, I just want to make something very clear to all of you watching. When it comes to Lovecraft, I don't care who you are, what your race is, what your sex is, your gender, what your orientation is, any of this. I don't care your political leanings either, because I know some of you have said to me, hey, I'm a leftist. Hey, I even had a guy come say to me in the comment section a few days ago, oh, I'm actually a communist. And instead of my usual comment, which is to offer a free helicopter ride, because I don't really like communists, I was very civil, I thought, regarding this issue. I forgot what we were discussing, but the point is that if you love and respect Lovecraft, we have no issues, and you are welcome on this channel, regardless of your side, your views about anything. Really. I really mean that. Let's get into this video and see what the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival is all about. The H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival has been around, they have been around since the 90s, I believe, and as the name suggests, they are focused on films that are relating to H.P. Lovecraft. Not necessarily the big films like Color Out of Space, but more like the more indie, lower budget films, not produced by big Hollywood studios and whatnot. This is their sort of focus, and the promotion and honoring of H.P. Lovecraft. And yeah, they have screenings in Portland, Oregon, I believe. That should give you a hint. Portland, Oregon. I mean, I'm not even American, and I know about that place. That should give you a hint about what you can expect from these people. So this is what they used to be about. And now, well, let's start off. Before we even look at their homepage, what do you think is going to be there? If you click on hplfilmfestival.com, their homepage, what do you think you're going to see? Perhaps Cthulhu. Surely Cthulhu, right? That's like the poster character of Lovecraft. Or perhaps a nice photo of Lovecraft who is looking stoically into the distance. Let's take a look. Black Lives Matter. You see, that's the bold thing that pops, besides the name there, obviously, and there's no Cthulhu or a picture of Lovecraft, the guy who they take the name from. No, nothing like that at all. We have here at the bottom, like headlines, which are clearly so small that they must be having a slight audience of ants that they are catering to at this organization. But we see here at the bottom some blah, 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 things about actually the films and microfiction contests, yeah, but Black Lives Matter is the thing that you are first drawn to when you go onto this website, because it's this black bar that cuts right through the screen. Black Lives Matter. It's not just a statement of belief. Or rather, I should say, it is not a statement of belief so much as it is the organization. If you search for Black Lives Matter, the organization is the first thing that pops up. This is what it is, this organization. First of all, this is the group which is responsible for burning, looting, and destroying the entirety of America, frankly. In every city, you've had these issues, I believe. Even here in Europe, far away Europe, we've had these issues, although not to the extent that you poor guys over there in America have had it. These mostly peaceful riots, right? They have gone around looting stores, burning buildings, cars, massive amounts of vandalism, theft, murder even, in some cases. This is that group. Who is leading it? Well, I know the one is named as Patrice Collars. I forget the other's name. There's a co-founder as well. Well, these people who founded it have admitted that they are trained Marxists, in their own words. Trained Marxists. This is the ideology which is responsible for the most deaths on this planet of ours. Marxism. Add to that, the owners, the people who run Black Lives Matter, have spent their donations, the people have foolishly given to this organization, on buying mansions worth millions. I believe they actually got one mansion that was sold to them by a previous Communist Party official. Probably cut them a deal because they're on the same page ideologically speaking. But this is the organization that the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival chooses to champion. What does it have to do with Lovecraft? I don't know. Let's go down. At the bottom of the page, we can read the mission statement of this organization. Founded by Andrew Megliore in 1995, we can go on and forth there and read that for yourself. It just says that they choose to evangelize the genres of cosmic horror and the weird tale through the exhibition of cinematic works by professional and independent filmmakers, so on and so forth. Then they go on and say that we embrace and foster new voices in the genre, including those of women. Stop right there. New voices in the genre, in weird fiction and cosmic horror, new voices. Who was Sonia Green, Lovecraft's wife? How did they meet? Well, she was a writer. She wrote her own stories. One was the horror on St. Martin's Beach. They romantically wrote it together, I believe, but it was under her name. Zalia Bishop is another big name in the writing of cosmic horror. She hired Lovecraft many times to be an editor and whatnot. But the point is that it's not like women are not represented in the writing of weird fiction, horror fiction, this type of thing. There are plenty of women out there who have historically been writing this. This is not new. BIPOC, they go on here. BIPOC, what? If you don't know, BIPOC stands for Black, Indigenous, People of Color. So basically it just means non-whites. Interestingly enough, indigenous, my father is Swiss. He's white. He's indigenous to Switzerland. My mother is English. She's indigenous to England. They're white. But I don't think BIPOC includes whitey, does it? No. And interestingly enough, why do they lump all non-whites together and whites separate? It's as if all non-whites somehow get along together ideologically speaking. They're all going to be on the same page. And then they go on to add in LGBTQ. Oh, you're missing a few letters there, isn't it? QIAS plus 2 Even I know these letters a little bit more than them. Creators, and strive to present an international showcase of related films. They show that they are infected with this inclusive virus, and trying to get everyone in there just on their base characteristics and not on their ability to produce good cosmic horror. We see that there are a few links that they provide us to learn a little bit more about themselves, this organization. One link is their commitment to social justice, diversity, and inclusion. Another is specifically about Lovecraft and his racism. Let's get into it. Our commitment to social justice, diversity, and inclusion. No. First of all, there's no such thing as social justice. If something is unjust, then you just need justice to fix it. If you start qualifying with social justice, you're diluting the actual justice. It's just justice, just that. They write here, we stand with the Black Lives Matter movement against systemic racism. Just keep that in mind because, oh my god, the irony needle is going to be buried. It's going to be beeping like a goddamn Geiger counter in Chernobyl. In their commitment to social justice and blah blah blah, they state, like many American historical figures, he is problematic due to his racist personal beliefs. Why can't the man have personal beliefs? I've noticed that amongst the left, there is this idea that the personal is political. But the personal is political states that even your personal beliefs, your personal thoughts, your inner thoughts and all this is a political issue. And therefore it must toe the line. This is something that has always been popular amongst authoritarian types and amongst communists. They want to crucify him for his personal beliefs. Here they even state that regarding his personal beliefs, which manifest primarily in his private letters, but also in some of his works, which is fair to be true. But I mean, in his personal and private letters, these are not the things which are being made into films or anything like that. They're the guy's personal and private beliefs. These letters were not meant for public viewing. They were written specifically to the receivers, his aunts specifically, his friends, things like this. You out there watching, now, my video here. Do you have any personal beliefs which, if were out in the open, would be condemned? You'd be called or some sort of an ist or something like that? I know I have them, and I know every single human being has these discriminatory views. You don't act on them. That's the type of thing. It's the same kind of mindset that says we have to ban video games like Doom or something like that because it promotes violence and, these things are going to act out in the real world, It's bullshit. That's what it is. We go on. The H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival is a safe space. In other words, it's a space where you are having to toe the ideological line. If you do not, you are vilified, you are thrown out. This is the idea of a safe space. Anything which potentially is offensive is completely not allowed. And you need to be able to risk offense in order to think, in order to be creative. Jordan Peterson said this, I believe it was, where when he was asked about safe spaces in one of these interviews with these retard feminists, you have to, in order to be able to think and express ideas, you have to risk being offensive. The idea of a safe space is completely against that, and it destroys creativity. This is not healthy when you have a film festival dedicated to creativity. So back to the idea of the safe space. They write, the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival's mission is to encourage and foster new voices in the cosmic horror and weird tale genres, including those of BIPOC creators. We've already established this is excluding whites, even though whites are indigenous to some places. The festival is a safe space for creators and fans of all skin colors, gender identities, of which only 2 are real, and sexualities. Now, I gotta ask you something here. You're the viewer, right? You want to watch a Lovecraft film, and in front of you you got A, B, and C. These are the creators. Person A, person B, person C. Person A makes a film. Person B makes a film, and C as well. Person A, well, okay, let's see. Your film's pretty decent, yeah, okay, but I see that you are a white man. Alright, get the fuck out of here. Person B, what you going on about? Okay, you're a white man, but... Oh, you were a white man. You chopped your cock off. Okay, that's good points for you. Person C, you have a very nice tan. Let's put you in there. Okay, person B and C, you're in. What? Your film? I don't know. Don't worry about it. We'll check it out later, how good it is. But we need... What did we write here? Diversity, inclusion, and to foster new voices, including BIPOC. So, Whitey, you're out, as we established. You two, you're in. Let's go. So I want to ask you the viewer, what kind of film do you want to watch when you sit down and watch something? Do you want to watch something which has been reviewed and judged to be excellent in its field? And then you find that the film festival comes and says, okay, this film, we've screened it, we've judged it, everything. It's a great film. We're going to watch it. Okay, this is the type of film that you could potentially watch. Or you can have this film festival say, okay, this film was made by a disabled, non-binary, trans, wheelchair Muslim from Syria who immigrate, okay, and this is their film, Is this the type of thing that you care about when you sit down to watch something? Do you even know who the director is in the majority of films? The producer in the majority of the films that you're watching? Do you know who it is? Or do you even really care? In some cases, if it's Quentin Tarantino or some director which has a reputation. But otherwise, do you really care, or do you just sit down and watch the film and then worry about who made it later on? These people are mentally ill. They are crackheads. Really, just crackheads, to quote my favorite YouTuber, Young Ripper. These people are not right in the head. They are broken. They are broken people. And I truly mean that. Alright guys, we are getting to the bottom half of this video. And remember how I told you that the irony needle is going to be utterly buried? Alright. Everything I've said about this organization so far, you could just say, hey Damien, maybe you're overreacting. It's just their points of view. Everyone's allowed to have a point of view, right? But I can prove that these people are inherently anti-white and actively do not want whites in their organization. I can prove it. And I can prove it using their own thoughts and their own decisions. Let's discuss the waiver program for non-white filmmakers. I'm not saying BIPOC anymore. Fuck that. They write here that the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival has showcased movies from all walks of life, blah, blah, blah. To help increase this aspect of diversity at the film festival, starting with the 2021 season, the organizers have launched a new fee waiver program specifically for film directors who are black, indigenous, and people of color. So basically, if you're not white. This will allow non-white creators to apply for a waiver to submit their works to the festival at no charge. So basically what it means, if you are a white man, and well, I guess they include white women as well, but let's be honest, it's if you're a white man, you have to pay a fee to submit your film. So it's a film festival, right? You have to pay to submit, and it gets processed, and the screening, it all costs money, all right? Fair enough. But if you are non-white, you don't have to pay. You don't pay. But if you're a white man, you have to pay. Remember, what did they claim here earlier on? We are against systemic racism. Holy fuck, you just set up systemic racism in your organization. And these people will tell you, they'll come to you and say, we are against racism. We're all against that. You know, we want justice. Social justice. You see, it's not the same as justice. Justice would be putting everyone on the same footing. They want social justice. Is this how the left has gone from saying equality to equity? Did you notice that sneaky little switch lately? It happened a few years ago. Just imagine this. If this is not, I'll put the final cherry on the top here. If H.P. Lovecraft was alive and he made a film, right? This is the organization named after him. If H.P. Lovecraft came and made a film, they would discriminate against him and charge him to submit a film to his own organization because he's white. Now, is that fair? I mean, there are poor whites, aren't there? Just like there's poor blacks and poor Asians. And they stated here that they are looking at all walks of life from various countries around the world. There are poor people all around the world, but there are also poor whites around the world as well. I mean, some of the countries that they list there, like Poland, for example, Portugal, Russia. Well, maybe I'm surprised they actually still have Russia here listed. But what do you think the average salary is over there? It's peanuts. It's nothing. But they're white. But you're going to charge them. And you're going to claim it's not racism. Speaking of racism, let's move on to that side of their website. So we click on this link, specifically titled Lovecraft and His Racism, because we need to know about this. We read on, Lovecraft and his racism. They once again express their full support for the Black Lives Matter movement, seeing it not as a political issue, it is, but a human rights issue. No, it's a political issue. It's a political issue. Don't lie. Let's go on. And this is, okay, we're going to wrap up here soon. Suggested reading. If you'd like to know more or get another point of view, these articles are worth taking the time to consider. Then the first thing they list is, I think this is a Nigerian, judging by the name. I have some experience with African names coming from South Africa. Naneri Okafor. I think she's Nigerian. Thoughtful piece on her internal conflict of being a black author who is both a Lovecraft fan and the recipient of a World Fantasy Award. A Lovecraft fan. I question that. They suggest that you read her. Let's go and see. And remember, they listed here a fan of Lovecraft. Alright? Now let's see what happens when she went to go visit Lovecraft's grave. We'll pop over quickly to her Twitter. Here we are. That is Naneri Okafor at Lovecraft's grave. A Lovecraft fan. Here we see her squatting on his grave with a smug smile, grinning at us. What does she write? I visited H.P. Lovecraft's grave today and paid my respect. He was probably roiling in his grave. He'll be okay. These are different times. A Lovecraft fan. You did not pay your respect. Look at your face. There's nothing there except smug contempt for Lovecraft. You write it there as well. These snakes, they do not write straight. You always have to read in between the lines with them because they never are honest. He'll be okay. These are different times. Is this the kind of person that goes to someone's grave with sincerity in their heart to pay respect, smugly grinning there, squatting at his grave, to take a selfie? I'll put this up on Twitter. Yeah, look at this. A black woman is right here, Lovecraft. Haha. Go spin in your grave a little bit. These are different times. Ha ha ha. This is it. This is a Lovecraft fan. You don't do this and you don't behave like this at anyone's grave. It's a solemn event. You go there to pay respects if you go there. I went to Lovecraft's grave. I did. I went there a few years ago. I didn't grin. I didn't take a fucking selfie. I stood there next to it. I put down a coin, 50 Rappen coin, which is our cents. I put it down since that seemed to be what everyone was doing. And then I just stood there thinking. I verbally said to Lovecraft, well, his bones anyway, thank you. That's all I said really. I didn't stand there smugly. Oh, but I don't have a chip on my shoulder. I'm not a fucking deranged leftist. A fucking crackhead, grinning there. So smug. This is what they call suggested reading at the Lovecraft Film Festival. This is the person we suggest you read, this Lovecraft fan. And we are a Lovecraft organization. The Film Festival, one of the long-time established organizations in the Lovecraft mythos. I'm sorry I got a little bit heated there at the end. I know my foul language. Well, perhaps I shouldn't be using such foul language, but I'm sorry, but I care about this issue. I care about this person. I care about Lovecraft. Not just as some figure who I admire for his stories or some such thing like that. I care about him as a person, as a human being. And I hate this disrespect. These crackhead parasites. Sorry, I'm always quoting Young Ripper. We'll come back to him just now, actually. I want to give you a white pill because I don't want to just be here ranting and that's it. Just creating this negative energy. I want to give back some positive energy now. I want to tell you something. You don't need these people. They make you think that you do need them, That's because they have their official website and everything and it says H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival. So you think, oh, well, if I'm doing film, if I'm interested in Lovecraft film, I need to turn to them. Or if you make a Lovecraft film, oh, I need them. You don't need them. They need Lovecraft. You don't need them. These people most likely hate you and discriminate against you. And they'll tell you that it's not discrimination. They'll lie to you as they make you pay because of your skin color, because of your race. I assume the majority of people watching are white, my channel. I know a lot of you are coming from non-European countries, or non-Western countries. How does it feel that if you're coming from, I know I have some viewers in South America or such, that you're Latino or Latina, and they're going to look at you first of all for your skin, for your race. They will not look at you as a person, first and foremost. Do you want that? This is a racist organization. They claim to be very much against it, but they are. And they're scum, these people running it. But here's the white pill. You don't need these people. You don't. You can make your own film. Or if you don't have the resources to get a camera or something like that, you can write a script, a screenplay. You can do that. What's stopping you? Literally nothing. You think you need them? You don't. You can make your own media, and not just film. Because we can see in other examples, if I make the part 2 video, if it's in demand. You can write your own stories. You can create your own board game. Things like this. Because I'll tell you what, I've been into this mythos now, must be nearing 10 years now. 10 years at least, let's say. If you make something with sincerity and passion in your heart, an honest, sincere attempt to honor the mythos, even if it's not the most pretty, the best writing, maybe English is in your first language, something like this, it will be accepted, by us, the fans of Lovecraft. We'll accept it. And we'll give praise when it's due. Not because of his skin color or anything like that. We'll give praise to the quality of the product. If it's good, it'll be praised. This fosters quality in the fandom. These people do not do that. You don't need them. But they need you. They need your money. They're at your mercy. Don't give these people money. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end this video here by leaving you a clip from my favorite YouTuber. Someone I truly admire as a human being, as a person, who, frankly, I've learned a lot from. And I say that embarrassingly enough because I think I'm 1 year older than him. So it's sometimes embarrassing to say that you learn something from someone younger than you. But I've learned a lot from Young Ripper. Check out Eric July. He's a great guy. Subscribe to his channel. And thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, leave a comment down below. Tell me your thoughts. Have I gone completely insane? Have I enjoyed too much rum, perhaps? Let me know if you want this part 2, because I can look at these other organizations. And thanks for watching. And to quote one of the songs from Young Ripper, be great.
I like the way you smile at me, baby. I like the